On today's episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, we're going to talk to you about one of the biggest issues that home sellers are facing in today's market, and it all revolves around the pricing of your home. This is good information guaranteed to help you if you're selling a home in 2025. Hang on, y'all. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast, where we bring you the most up-to-date, relevant real estate information you're going to find anywhere on the planet. You are going to get it right here, courtesy, compliments, whatever you want to say, of your friends at Elite Realty Group. I'm Mike Elkins with Elite Realty Group. Got my partner in crime, Mr. Dave Elkins, with us today, and we are ready to tackle. I think you're going to agree with me on this. We're ready to tackle.
Yeah.
Probably the number one issue home sellers are facing today, getting the house sold.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big one.
Yeah.
This is a big one. We're going to talk about it in depth today. It all revolves around pricing of homes.
Comes down to that, don't it? Every single time it comes down to the price.
Yeah. I mean, and we've said this for many years now. I was looking back today through some archives of some videos we've done for a really long time now. And we've talked about this for a long time, but it's always a big issue. But I honestly think you will agree with me on this, that like in today's real estate market, like what people are facing today, especially someone trying to sell a house, because of the volatility of the market, pricing is hard.
It's tough.
Like it is super tough. Hard for you to nail down that price.
Yep.
Of exactly where you need to be. Now, let me back up just for a moment. It's hard if you do it the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
It's very attainable and achievable to get your home price right and resulting in a sale, which is what you're putting it on the market for anyways, if you do it right.
Right.
But we got so many people, again, that they're just kind of, I think, I used the term the other day, they're spraying and praying.
Yeah.
And I think that has caused this big issue with pricing.
We got to get back to this is what normally happens. And people,
Correct.
Honestly, just like the interest rates, people have been spoiled.
No doubt.
You can put anything on the market at any price and it's going to sell.
Absolutely.
It's not that way right now.
Not at all.
It's not that way. And that's not because of anything other than the market has moved to normal. It's still
100%.
Moving to normal, but it's getting close.
Yes, it's super, super close. But it makes, like you said, as someone trying to sell their house, you gotta be more on purpose.
Be dialed in, man.
You gotta be laser focused in what you're gonna do. What we're gonna talk to you about today, again, are these pricing issues and why that, you've got that old thought process of I'll start high, I'll drop, I'll come low, all of those things that, pop up there that's in people's head. And there is a thought process of that you're thinking right. But is that the way to do it now? Like, is that what you need to be doing right now, this moment in the real estate market? We're going to talk about those things. We're going to talk about why, when you go on the market, the first, few days you're there is critical.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about why you don't want to do that, start high and go low. But we're going to dive deep into the biggest issue home sellers are facing right now. That's pricing their home. It's not finding the price. It's just doing it correctly.
Right.
It's just literally doing it correctly. So let's start our conversation today with just some ground level thoughts here, okay? As far as when you put a home on the market right now, okay, why you don't want to start high and why the correct pricing matters when we start.
Yep.
Okay. And I think this is the key issue that I think if a lot of people grab a hold of this number one point we're giving you today, everything else kind of takes care of itself. Okay. Let's set the stage. When a home goes on the market, when it is new, okay, it shows up new everywhere. Okay. And literally, I can just say everywhere: MLS, all of your syndication sites, Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, in people's inbox, text messages, notifications, on social media. It's new. Okay. It's kind of like the old saying goes, first impressions are very, very important. And you got a short period of time to make a first impression on someone as a person. Your home is the exact same way. First impressions are everything. When you put your house on the market, having it right out of the gate. Now, I'm going to go outside of pricing for a moment. Your pictures have to be right. Decluttering has to be right. All the little things you're going to do to it, new paint, spruce up the outside, get your landscaping done, grass mowed, all that. The first impression is major.
Right.
That's all well and good.
Yeah.
But if it don't connect together with the right pricing, you still have a problem.
Right.
You still have a problem. You could have the best pictures. You could have all the little stuff done. You could have that landscaping just, spot on. Drawn video footage. But if you still got the pricing wrong, y'all, we got a big problem.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got a big problem. So when you talk about this out of the gate, it sets the tone for the entire listing process. Being right out of the gate, that all comes back to because it's new.
Yep.
Would you agree with me? That's when everybody's going to see this.
Everybody's going to see it then. And just like you said, you got to do, and like, listen, everybody understands you can't take $120,000 house and make it look like a $2.6 million house. It ain't going to happen.
Can't put makeup on a pig.
But so whatever it is you got, you need to take your time to make sure that it looks as good as it possibly can.
Correct.
Do those things.
Correct.
That will affect your price. And if you don't, that will affect your price. Okay.
Absolutely.
So if you can't, like Mike said, you got to get it. As long as that price is right, no matter what it looks like, you need to price it according to what it looks like.
When we start.
Yes, not eventually.
No. And you got to look at this and say, why does it matter when we start? It sets the tone for the entire listing process. Okay. Getting off to a good start is critical here. Okay. It sets the tone. It determines, are the right people seeing my house? If you're in a particular price range, but you jump your house out of that price range because, well, I think somebody I want to try to retire here. I think somebody may give me this amount for it. It determines, does the right people even see it? Again, it's going to start just falling into the never ever land of it's just on the market and nobody ever sees it again.
Right.
If you start wrong to begin with. Determining and having the right people see it at the right time when it's new is critical. But that all affects your time on the market, what your final sale price is going to be.
Right.
It's the correct price matters at the beginning. I fully understand you want to get as much as you want to get. Who don't want to get the most for their house?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I think your goal is to sell it. Like to get the sold sign put in the yard. So getting correct out of the gate determines all of those things. Now, if you don't do that, there's dangers in that. Okay. The dangers of overpricing. Okay. If you would dive into that with them, the dangers of doing this wrong when we start.
I got some stuff here, some stuff wrote down. So here's things that we need to keep in mind about when you overprice. You're going to have fewer showings, no doubt. If you are overpriced, you're going to have fewer showings. What does that lead to? Fewer or zero offers. Okay.
That's bad.
So that's a bad thing. If we're trying to sell our house, we got to get people in the door. If nobody's coming to look, there's a really good chance that it's because of the price. Okay. That's one. Number two is the house is obviously going to sit on the market longer. Now your listing is going to become stale, kind of what Mike was just talking about.
Right.
Now, instead of being the new kid on the block, the one that everybody's getting to see because every website that syndicates with the MLS in the world is pushing your listing, you have now just blended into the pack. You are somewhere in the middle of all these other listings. They saw it, thought you was overpriced. They forget about you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Another one is, we've said this for years. This is, in my opinion, one of the biggest reasons why you have to price it right out of the hole. When buyers see you start doing these price reductions,
this is key.
They automatically, in their mind, think that something is wrong with this house.
Right.
When they see this thing started out at $499.9 and we're at $305 now, they think this thing's got foundation problems.
Correct.
It's got something majorly structurally wrong with this house.
Mm-hmm.
That's just where their mind goes.
Right.
As a seller trying to sell your house, you do not want people looking at your house who's never been there and judging it based upon, now you've decided we need to start pricing it right. And they start thinking something is wrong with this house.
Absolutely.
The last one, this is a good one too, is a lot of times you may end up selling it for less than what it would have been if you would have just priced it right from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because now buyers are seeing desperation. Sometimes sellers are seeing desperation. I've got to move this place.
We got to go. Yeah.
I've got to move it. And now you're just hoping to get an offer. Sure. And now we start settling for stuff and we start having to sell our house for less than what it really should sell for, just because of the whole strategy. Let's price it high and we can always drop. I heard a person say this the other day, thought it was a great analogy. But when you list your house, are you trying to sell your house or your neighbor's house?
Yeah, good point.
Because one of the two is going to happen.
Absolutely.
They are going to look at yours and they're going to look at your neighbor's 3 doors down and they're going to say, this is essentially the same house. This one here's, $40,000 less. You just sold your neighbor's house.
Absolutely.
Because you wanted to start a little bit too high.
Absolutely.
It's key that we started out right.
Yeah, and I think one of those that you talked about, the home overpricing it when you start, mm-hmm. You talked about sitting longer.
Yeah.
And becoming stale.
Yeah.
Now I think we could drill down here just a little bit. And again, we give the facts here. Okay. That's why we do this. We want to keep you informed of what's going on. Now, again, we're Morristown, Tennessee, Lakeway Area, East Tennessee region, okay, of the United States. Homes, not just here, but all across the country, inventory is growing.
Yep.
It's growing rapidly.
Yep.
That means for all of us, homes are coming on the market fast. A lot of homes are coming on the market, okay? Being right out of the gate helps you from getting in that avenue of being stale.
Yep.
Because where, we were in this place where it was a home or two a day, we're now seeing 8 and 10 a day.
Right.
Okay. That's a lot. Mm-hmm. As 8 and 10 today, well, we're 5 days down the road, y'all. That's 50 homes.
Right.
That's come on the market that's now just continuing to bump yours down the list.
Yep.
Competing. Okay. We're 2 weeks out of that. We're talking about 70 to 80 houses, 100 houses. Mm-hmm. You just keep going further down the list of people that seeing your home. So if they look at it right out of the gate, you chose to go the overpricing route, your home is just going to grow stale, and it's going to grow stale very quickly, which automatically makes the other things that he just told you happen.
Yep.
You start doing price reductions, okay? People start thinking, well, what was wrong with that one? Because that house looks good.
Yeah.
But something must be wrong because it's been on the market for a while now, and there have been 4 price reductions, 8 price reductions.
Yep.
Those thoughts automatically start happening in buyers' minds, which leads to, well, we're going to go look at this house, but we're going to cut the bottom out of it.
Yeah, we're going to make them a low.
We're going to do this because this house has been on the market 85 days.
Right.
This house has been on the market for a while. They're probably getting to that desperation stage of wanting to sell now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to cut them.
Yep.
We're going to see what happens. Now, here's another automatic that happens. That could be true, what they're thinking.
Yeah.
You could be getting close to, I got to sell the house.
Yeah.
I'm getting desperate. And that low offer comes in.
Yep.
You think, well, man, we've been 85. We've been 110 days. We're feeling desperate. This is our only offer we've ever had. And you take less. Exactly what you just said.
Yep.
You take less than what you could have done it if you just done it right at the start.
Yep.
Homes, when they're listed on the market, they're going to fall into three categories. The house is priced right. That's where we all want to be. Okay. Yep. That's where we all want to be. You're going to have your home overpriced. That's not where we want to be. Okay. Right. The third one is, which gives us our third point today about getting this right. You talked about overpricing. I'm going to talk to you about the danger of underpricing your house.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yep.
Who wants to leave money on the table?
Yeah, that's a big one.
We don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
No.
There is this thought process that is out there, and you can do with it what you want to do with it. But there's this thought process that's out there right now of let's underprice it and get multiple offers. Okay?
Right.
Let's get multiple offers. There was a time, I would tell you, that was a heck of a strategy because there were so many people trying to buy one house.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that's when we're seeing $100,000, $120,000 over asking stuff was selling for.
Yeah. And again, you had 10 buyers per house.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the point of, again, because home inventory is growing, you don't want to do the underpriced route either.
No.
Because you could leave money on the table.
Yeah.
That's a bad thing for you to do.
Right.
It is so critical, y'all, that you get it right out of the gate, but price it right.
Yeah.
Don't go too high. Don't go too low. You're going to attract bargain hunters if you go low. Okay. They're going to be the people who are still going to come in and cut you.
Yeah.
You're going to attract that crowd. And I don't think you want to go down that road. Okay. What we want to really dive into with you today is what a real estate agent, okay, a good one is going to do for you.
Yeah.
To make sure that we hit it right.
Yeah.
Now, disclaimer, we're not appraisers, okay?
Right.
They're certified people that's their job. Banks use them. They're getting a mortgage on the property. They're going to send an appraiser.
You know what? Yeah, I told somebody this the other day. You know, one of the difference between me and an appraiser? They're guaranteed money. I'm not.
That's exactly.
They're going to get paid. They get paid to come out and tell you a price.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. Yeah. So let's talk with them about what a good real estate agent is, and this all goes back to the reasons why you work with a realtor. What we're getting ready to tell you about. Okay. If you're that person out there and you're thinking spring market seems like real estate's moving, and it is. You know what I mean? Like real estate's doing good. Everybody asks me all the time, like, what's going on in the real estate market? It's steady. Like it's a steady, good market.
Yeah.
And it's really good if the people do what we're telling them to do. Like price your house right. You know what I mean? Get that out of the gate. But what is a good realtor going to do when they come out and look at your house? They're going to do this for you. Yeah. And we're going to break this down. They're going to do what's called so many different ways, comparative, whatever. But they're going to do what's called a CMA, which is a market analysis.
Yep.
They're going to dive deep into the market. They're going to take your house, your location, your amenities, the things that you have, the upgrades you have to your property. They're going to do a market analysis and see what has been happening in the marketplace, the local marketplace. With this house, this location, this style, what's going on? In other words, what's everybody else doing? They're going to see where your house fits into the marketplace and arrive at a marketing price. Here's the question for you, you can take over. What areas, when we say they're going to look into areas of the market, we know it's the same location, it's the same style house, but what areas are they going to look into for us to give that suggested marketing price?
There's three things that we have to look at if we're trying to price this house. We have to look at what is actively on the market. Okay.
Tell them why.
Well, now we know exactly what the competition is. We know this is the prices that, depending on square footage or whatever, this is what is actively competing against your house on the market. So that's very important to know. we have to look at the listings that have expired. So listings that have been listed and did not sell. The reason why we look at that, pretty obvious to me, is that we know those people tried to sell their house and it did not work.
And may I add to that just for a
Yeah.
moment? That expired market is the fastest growing segment of our entire market.
Exactly.
Because people are not listening to this advice.
Exactly. We've talked about this. We talked about it.
Yes.
Expired listings is running wild right now. It is running wild. There are expired listings everywhere. Again, coming back from, just like we talked about, before, the way the market has changed, a year or 2 years ago, you wasn't seeing stuff expire.
No.
Now we're getting, what do we say, 90 a week? I mean, it's crazy.
It's there.
There's more coming off than they are going on.
Absolutely.
So expired listings are crazy. So we have to look at that because we know they tried and it did not work. You're going to start seeing, when we start comparing these things, of what happens here. Okay, so active first, expired, tried, didn't work, and then we want to see what sold. Okay, we know those people put it on the market and it worked. They accomplished their goal. It sold. So now we can kind of look at those three and compare those together and average it out and see, okay, this is what we need to price yours at.
Yes.
Now, told somebody this just a minute ago. Realtors are probably, and we'll get in trouble for this, but realtors are at fault here. Okay, because they've been spoiled. There's a lot of newer agents in the last 4 years that have come on the market, and they go out and they talk to a seller. And seller, I'm going to say this, apologize to you up front. I want to sell your house, but I have to be real with you, and you're going to have to understand where I'm coming from. People are used to going out and saying, what do you want me to sell it for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're getting these, hence the reason 90 expires in a week.
Right.
Okay. I understand, like Mike said, and I'm going to say this too. I want to sell your house for as much as I can. That's how I get paid.
Right.
Okay. The more I sell it for, the more I make. I'm not ashamed to tell you that. But we have to understand what the market says. Right. We can price it for whatever you want, but we have to be real if we're trying to sell it.
Absolutely.
Just like I said a minute ago, we're selling somebody's house, yours or your neighbor's.
Yes.
Okay. So we have to look at those three, and we'll come back to that. We have to look at those three. That tells us how or what we need to price your house for. Now, that is very, 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 very similar to exactly what an appraiser does.
Absolutely.
He's going to look at those same numbers.
Okay? And they just really look at solds.
They just look at the solds.
Because that's the people that got it right. Yeah.
But we want to know what you're competing with.
Absolutely.
We want to know that.
You have to. You have to look at those three segments. Active is our competition.
Yeah.
But we have to keep in mind, and we try to make sure people that we do these market analysis for understand this.
Yeah.
The actives, they got it out there right now.
Right.
They don't necessarily have it right.
Yeah, they might not have it right.
They might be over in the expired camp.
Yeah.
Okay, it's coming.
Yeah.
And the expireds is people got it wrong. And most of the time you will see when a realtor breaks this down for you in these three different segments for you to look at, you're going to realize why you don't want to do what we told you just a minute ago, and that's start high. Mm-hmm. Because those people, you're probably where you're wanting to start is where those people were.
Yes.
And the result ended in it did not sell. It expired. It's off the market now.
Right.
Sold's the only ones that done it and got it right. Don't try to reinvent the wheel.
Right. We
do know those houses, several things happen. One, they sold. That's the biggest thing.
It's the goal, right?
But the majority of houses, 75% of them that's purchased today, they are purchased with a mortgage on the house. Mm-hmm. It appraised. We've still got to cross that hurdle.
Right.
A lot of people forget you may have somebody. We get this all the time. Well, I've got people moving from other parts of the country, and they think my house overpriced is a deal.
Right.
You're right. Mm-hmm. Sure they do. But if they're going to get a mortgage on it, there's an appraiser coming behind all of us.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to get stopped.
Comes the judge.
We're still going to come back down to where we should have been at, which may have gotten a lot more buyers, a lot more interest, a lot more opportunities for you to sell your house. So you don't want to try to rely upon my only clientele here is somebody that's packing up and moving from another part of the country.
Right.
Let the more people
and has cash and blinders on that they don't say anything, that they don't see any other house than yours.
Correct. The more people that have an interest in this house, the more likely it's going to get sold for top dollar, which is what you want. That's what you want the most for your house. The other thing you got to think about of all of these is, we talk about this a lot here at Elite Realty Group. We look at this once every single month in our first meetings of every month. We look at the local trends, like what price range is moving, what price range is stale.
Right.
Is it mobile homes? You know, we went through a transition in our market where mobile homes were on fire.
Absolutely.
Like fire selling. Okay. Like you couldn't get them fast enough for people to buy them. That market segment has really slowed back.
Yeah.
And so we look at all of that in getting this market analysis done for you. It's not just we come out and give you our gut instinct.
Right.
Or we don't, you know, as a home seller, this isn't going to go over well. It's okay.
I love it when we say stuff that ain't going to go over well.
As a home seller, you don't necessarily want to pick that agent who's going to list it for the highest amount.
Just had this conversation.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, just had this conversation. Siobhan actually competed with 3 other agents this weekend, and they told her that specifically, that we appreciate that you are not coming in here trying to just tell us whatever.
Yeah.
We appreciate that you have come with real numbers, and you can show us why you have this price. And that's crazy when there's 3 other agents that come and nobody can't show you why it should be priced the way it is. They're just saying, throw a number out. We'll sell it.
There's no doubt. And, you know, again, we'll run this rabbit. Let's run it because it should be ran. Like, realtors should work for the money. Okay. We should just walk in there and just do whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's a disservice to a client.
Yep.
That's a disservice to someone trying to sell their house. And so you as a seller, we say this a lot, especially on this podcast, on this show. Interview people, like interview and see the ones who's got the track record. See the ones who have real hardcore numbers. Did they even care they was coming out to talk to you, or they care just come out to use your listing to say I got a new listing, or are they really coming with hardcore factual information to show you, look, this is why I'm telling you this information.
Yeah.
You want to see that, you know, and make them show you that.
Yep.
And there's no harm in you talking to more than one person.
Right.
Because again, we're coming back today, we're talking to you the biggest issue right now in the real estate market with home sellers, and especially their house not getting sold, is they're just not pricing it right. That's the moral of the story. You got a great house. It shows well. The pictures are out of this world. You've done everything right. You did your job, Mr. Seller. But the realtor came in and didn't. They didn't do their job.
Right.
And your house sits there. Your house suffers because of that.
Yep.
Now, let's go one more little point here before we move on to this last little segment, okay? This market, this is our last point. The market across the country right now, okay, is a shifting market. Okay, yes. It's shifting. It's moving at a very rapid speed.
I did not hear you say a crashing market.
No. It's shifting. And that's what I'm going back to. There's different segments that are really hot. There's different locations that are really hot. But there's some, all of this could be right. It all could be right. Right? You did your job as a seller. You did what you were supposed to do. But it's shifting. It's different than the last few years. You can still have it all right and not necessarily get that offer in the first 3 hours, 3 days, 3 weeks.
Yep.
The average time in the Lakeway market right now, we're approaching 60 days.
Yep.
Okay. So those expectations, you should have them. Okay. Now you start getting much up over that. Now we need to start looking at some things.
Yep.
Okay. Pricing. Again, we just had this the other day happen, like right here, okay? We put some property on the market, okay? Listed some land, did a CMA. Here's what it said. We listed it what it said. 3 days later, same place, same subdivision, same market. Somebody else put some property on the market. You know what they did? They listed it for less than we did. That's what I mean shifting.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Not crashing. You said it exactly right.
Right.
Shifting. Okay. So it's very, very fluid.
Mm-hmm.
It might be right today to be at this price.
Mm-hmm.
But if 30 days, 40 days from now, they've been 4 other people come on and they've undercut,
Right.
that's fluid.
Right.
We may adjust. We may shift.
Mm-hmm.
It's more important now than ever to work with someone experienced.
Yes.
The experienced local agent
mm-hmm.
that keeps track of these things, okay?
Yep.
That stays on top of what's happening in the market to keep you as the seller informed, okay? Yep. Biggest issue facing sellers today is getting their house priced right from the beginning. And then if they need to shift. Mm-hmm. Okay? Go from third to fourth. Shift the gear.
Yep.
And get you to where you need to go. What else you got to say?
I want to say, I want to tackle this one thing. Again, I'm being controversial today, but
it's all right. It's what we do.
You said an experienced local agent.
Sure.
A lot of times people hear the word experienced and they think that we have to be 20 years, 10 years in the business. Mm-hmm. I know people right now that's been in the business 6 months mm-hmm. that are more experienced than people who's been in the last 4 or 5.
That's a good point.
Again,
that's a good point.
There's a lot of people that come into real estate in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yes.
And they come in because it was easy. We've told people if you was living and if you had a pulse, then you could sell real estate.
We're going to get in trouble.
I know. I know. But I'm saying these people that's come in and they got 6 months in the business. They've come in and it's not been the booming real estate business that it has been. But you know what they've learned? They've learned how to sell houses
how to do it right.
The right way.
I love it.
They learned how to price houses the right way.
Yes.
So I just don't want people to hear and say, oh, I got to find a 20-year-old vet to do it.
I agree with
sometimes 20-year-old vets are lazy.
Yep.
Sorry about it. They don't know how to. They don't know how to market houses.
I love it.
Okay,
that all works together.
So that's why you need to interview.
Yeah.
That's why you need to interview people. If you're selling your house, you need to interview agents. You need to find someone that you know, like, and trust. Okay, that you can gel with, and you trust that those people, like Mike said, make them earn their money.
Yes.
Don't just come in and give somebody a check. Make them earn their money.
Absolutely.
Make them prove to you that they can sell your house. Prove the numbers behind it.
Yes. So that's critical. Like this information for you is very critical. If you're in that realm of, hey, it's spring, man, it's time to go.
And one more. I'm throwing one more thing in.
One
more thing in before we close. Because I don't want people to hear everything we've said today and hear the word drop only.
No.
Okay? Because I feel like we've talked a lot about home prices that are they're dropping because, again, I would say majority of the people are trying to start high. But in the last 2 weeks, I know of 3 houses personally that have listed and sold for at least $30,000 over asking price. Those people priced it right. That realtor knew that that pocket, the price range, that is a very competitive price range.
Yep.
They priced it perfect out of the get-go, but because it was priced perfect, it drove the price up.
Absolutely.
So don't think that you're going to list and drop down if we price it right out of the hole.
Absolutely. And that's what I want to end with is the first week, 2 weeks at the most, that's your golden window. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the golden ticket window to get this done. Don't waste the best time your house is going to be on the market is those first 2 weeks. Do not waste that critical time.
Yep.
With the wrong price.
Yep.
Okay, because you are losing such a big segment of the people that will buy your house because there's more coming right behind you. And if they're doing it right, you did what Dave said early on in this podcast. You sold their house. Mm-hmm. You don't want to do that. Do yours right, and most of the time, they will sell your house.
Yep.
Okay? If you do it right out of the gate. When you do it right, you get the most eyes, you get the most visits, which leads to the most contracts, and at the end of the day, leads to the most money in your pocket. That does it for us on this episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast. Hopefully, we have Brought you hot off the press information today about getting your home sold in 2025. Pricing is critical. Make sure, whatever platform you are watching or listening to us on, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, here on Facebook, make sure that you tune into us every Wednesday as new episodes are being released. Until next time, I'm Mike Elkins with Elite Realty Group. That's my partner, Dave Elkins. This has been an episode of the Elite Realty Group Podcast. We will see you guys the next time.